Okay, welcome back to the Performance Circus, here where we deep dive with Beck Cole and myself about everything mental, physical, and lifestyle success. Today, we have a phenomenal guest on board. Now, people might know this gentleman as Tom Baulch. Now, that probably doesn't ring a bell to many, but the name Prime Train certainly does. Mate, welcome and thank you for coming in today. It's a pleasure to have you here. A little round of applause from myself and Beck.
Prime Train!
There we go. I think every time we say Tom, it's a weird start, right?
Yeah, it is weird. Well, thank you very much for having me. Much appreciated. But yeah, it's good to be here.
It's, firstly, Prime Train. Prime. That's what you get called.
Yes. Yeah, whatever you want.
Do you ever answer to Tom? Or is that only mum and dad yelling at you?
No, Thomas, when I'm in trouble at home, is usually what it is. Thomas. And that's usually my mum. My dad usually doesn't get me in too much trouble. He's pretty chill. So, but mostly it's Prime or Prime Train is usually what I'll hear. Not many people call me Tom out and about. So, yeah, you guys can call me whatever.
And how did you get the name Prime?
Well, I started off my business during COVID and it was originally called Pandemic Training. No one really knows that.
Wow.
No one really knows that. That's kind of how it all started. And everyone was like, obviously that didn't have the longevity when COVID finished. And I was like, Pandemic Training probably isn't going to last forever. I like the initials PT, so I just Googled all the words that started with the letter P. Prime was the first one that come up. I was like, Prime Train, here we go. And
are you a fan of Optimus Prime?
Yeah, sometimes.
I totally had that in my head the whole time.
People always make the link between Optimus Prime. Yeah, I guess I'm a fan. Yeah, I don't know. Are you a fan?
Are you a Autobot or no?
Ooh. Yeah. Probably, maybe a Decepticon. Maybe. So what would you be? You'd be a Decepticon for sure.
No, whoa, hang on. Calm down. I'm 100% an Autobot.
Okay. Hey,
sure.
I was just I don't know.
But some people might say I'm a Decepticon.
Yeah.
I'm Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. So you're definitely an Autobot.
You're definitely not Bumblebee because you can talk underwater.
No, but I'm real cute.
Oh, I don't know about that. Now, Prime, you've built yourself such a great social media following. I wouldn't say it's a cult, but you've built over the last couple of years, and especially, since your late teenage years, a great following on social media. You've used that to build, your programming in the, fitness and lifestyle world. You've done merchandising. You've now into supplements as well. Can you talk to us about how that started, the generation of, social media to the world and the power it brings? You have such a presence and utilizing that. Can you walk us through a bit of that journey and how you got started and how you got to a little bit of where you are today?
Yeah, 100%. I think that social media just for everyone is a necessity. Everyone needs to be, if you're building a business or a brand, there's so many people that come to me and say, oh, don't know if I want to use social media. It's you have to use it in this day and age, because if you're a personal trainer and you've got 100 followers, you might be the best ever personal trainer, but the person with 100,000 followers is going to get more clients than you every day of the week. Unfortunately, that's just the world that we live in these days. So you have to be able to utilize that. And I started during COVID, like everyone else, you're looking for clients and you obviously can't do one-on-one kind of stuff during COVID. So for me, I jumped online and kind of taught myself how to use Shopify, build a website, build a brand, and started posting on TikTok. Fortunate enough that a few videos went viral, and here we are, 300, 400,000 followers later. And I think that it's really important though for people to understand that followers aren't everything, even though I did just say that followers add a lot of validity. They do add validity, but at the same time, if you don't know how to monetize or market yourself towards your following, having 200,000 followers doesn't matter. You have to learn how to market yourself. You have to learn how to sell things. And if you never teach yourself those things, if you don't read, if you don't do research on YouTube, you're never going to be able to sell anything.
And what was it? Obviously, I feel especially in the pandemic, so many people I'm going to become a PT if I wasn't already one. Athletes were doing stuff left, right and center. What was it, do you think, that made the difference? Or you were hey, this is what's going to make me really stand out, get these followers, or, make me different to the guy next to me?
I think during COVID for me, I focused on so much, and I don't know if this is the right way to go about it, but my vision of a personal trainer is they have to be at the top of their game. I don't want to be trained by someone that is
looks like a potato.
No, I don't want to be trained by them. You're not training me.
If you look like a potato,
would you be trained if you had a strength and conditioning coach come in and they look like a piece of shit? Would you respect what they say?
100% no. But that's me.
But like,
that's subjectively looking at it because I've worked my ass off to be in shape. And I expect the person who maybe looks like a bit of a spud to come in and be like, okay, if I can't show you exactly not how to look and how to train, but they need to be extremely intelligent, intellectually smart. Their IQ has to be through the roof. The mechanics, the training, the focus, the detail. If that's at a 10 out of 10 and they look like a cheesecake, then I can oversee it. But I need you to... But
it's a respect thing though, don't you think?
I need you to walk in and take command of,
control.
Okay, I know what I'm doing in here. So sit down and shut the fuck up and just do what I say right now because I'm going to help you.
And then for me, it's like, well, if they know all that stuff, why aren't they applying it to themselves? So like that's why I saw it. So to answer your question, during COVID, I just focused like obviously no drinking, no doing anything, just like I'm going to make myself the fittest that I can ever possibly be. And then that's going to add validity to my brand because people are going to be like, I want to look like him. I want to be like him, whatever it might be. And then people are going to buy my product. Like that was kind of the way that I saw it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's really smart. And also I want to know, because you were like, oh, I went viral on TikTok. Was it the mullet or was it the abs?
Neither, I don't think. I had my shirt on and I did.
What was the validity? What were the...
At the time, so it was actually good training, let's say, maybe. Great training techniques.
Yeah. What were the 3 most viral videos or posts that you've had so far?
Great question. The 3 most viral, the first one, so obviously with the social media, I get a little bit of a target on my back when playing, and I only play local footy, like I'm not that good. I just like run around and have a bit of fun, but in local footy, you're going to find a few more argy-bargy sort of type operators that are looking to take your head off. So the funniest videos, and I think my biggest video has got like 10 million on TikTok, which is just like a ridiculous amount of people when you think about it. And it's just me pretty much just getting bashed up for a minute. So it's pretty much just like...
To all the haters.
It's like all of them coming up.
So you don't have a following. You literally have an extended family that buy your products and the rest just want to see you get bashed.
Pretty much. And it gets the views at the end of the day. So it's pretty much just people coming up and bashing me the whole game and me just like taking it and just trying to get a kick. So that's generally, they're like the best videos because everyone, or like, the crowd shouting something at me like, you're a wanker, you're a tosser, whatever it might be, and then me kicking a goal and saying, whatever it might be.
You're allowed to say that here. We implore being our authentic selves.
Yeah.
And you and I are definitely those people where there's like haters in the crowd. If you score, I'll be like, I did that on the weekend.
Does it hype you up? Does it hype you up when you get that? When people are like, or do you kind of get a bit internal with it? Like,
nah, I love it because I also feel like, or even if it's the other team, tell me if you feel this way as well. If you're cheering because I turned the ball over, that means you were spending a lot of effort and time on me, like in your scout or whatever. So like, good on you. Like I'm pissed off that I got a turnover, but then when you score, you're like,
go doing it.
Beck's actually really funny because when she starts playing, sometimes she gets the like, what do I do? I've just done something really awesome. And instead of it being like a big, what about this?
No, I do this.
The old Leighton Hewitt or something. She's got a like a whoa, like she's just.
No, they go down. I don't know why.
She does this.
It's like the Zion Williamson.
Like the big gorilla staunch pose. She starts.
Well, I'd pull up my top and flex, but that's just very unacceptable for women's basketball right now.
You need to have a go-to like celebration, don't you? Like you need to have your go-to like, come on, or like whatever it is, like you need to have one. If it looks awkward, then you obviously haven't been doing it enough.
Hey, I'm going to my camera on right now.
Prime just said you suck and you're inconsistent, basically.
Guys, I have a game tomorrow. Really would like you to lift me up. Okay, it's an important game. Thank you. Yeah.
Apologies.
A celebration does. It can actually identify you in a game. I know I have one at the moment. It was something I did with somebody that meant a lot to me and does mean a lot to me. And I realized that it was like the littler person and then me was the bigger person. And it was like something we did together and I would kiss it and blow it away. Until someone says, are you smoking a joint?
Right.
And I was like this.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you smoking a joint and blowing it away? And I was like, no, I'm not. This is actually so sentimental and really nice. And I'm not smoking a
And instead they think you're smoking a big fat doobie.
Like, good. Craig's on the billy at halftime.
I think LeBron had a celebrate. No, it might have been Baker Mayfield or someone in the US. Baker, I think, has a joint celebration. I remember, I think it was a couple of months ago, you and I actually had a celebration together.
Yeah, I got a bit razzled at one of the games.
Can we reenact this?
I was sitting in the Reebok seat. Shout out to Reebok, obviously, for giving the seats. Reserved for, I don't know, people that think that they matter. Not me. But I got the call up at like 4 o'clock and the game started at 5. Said, "Oh, someone's pulled out. Can you come in?" I said, "All right, mate." So I rock up and obviously, you boys are playing and you score, and it was kind of a weird interaction. I don't think you really knew what was going on, or I did, and I didn't think I was allowed to touch the players or like whatever. Kind of reached out with a hand, and I've kind of gone back with a hand, and it was just a little.
I just got an M1 and turned around and was like, "Nah."
Come on.
He stood up, he's like yelling at me, and we did this. Everyone was like, "What the fuck is that?" And like, "Do you know him?" And I was like, "No."
And I followed him after the game. I was like, "That was sick, dude." Because I knew from Danny Kennedy's obviously stories and who he trained. So I was like, I kind of like, I know him through mutuals and stuff. So it was all right in the end, but it was like, come on, let's go.
It was a good moment.
It was a great moment.
I had a lot of fun. I felt good about it.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Me too.
Did you have any at the start of the business when you were getting, like, say, a bit more serious, more followers, you're like, okay, then I want to go into subs, like now you're branching out. What was maybe your first like whoa or something you were like, oh shit, that didn't really go to plan. Like, how do I handle this hurdle?
We this story is just hilarious. I don't know why I'm laughing because it's not really not that funny. But we had a warehouse burnt down. Someone targeted our warehouse. Not specifically for me. It was like we had a group warehouse with like 50 other other people that are creating whatever, and so I had just created a subs brand. I've obviously got all the apparel in there as well. So it's like all there at this fulfillment place. And we get this text in the morning, like it's all over the news that this warehouse is burnt down in Melbourne. I'm like, hold on a second, that's my fucking warehouse.
So you found out on the news?
So found out through a text, like in the WhatsApp group, and it was like, this stuff might be affected by it. And anyway, we kind of like drove that morning to go check it out, and that was I didn't have like product insurance or anything, so I had to like figure out shit, like I'm losing a lot of money here, but learned from that. So now I got product insurance. So I guess you come out on the good side, but that was like, it's definitely, I'm pretty young, I'm 24 and I'm learning all of these things about business while really enjoying the process. But that's just, one of those things. It's a learning process and you kind of figure it out as you go. Same with tax, I guess. So you just all figure it out.
They need to teach adulting in high school.
Honestly,
period.
If I could go back to school and like change the curriculum, I would just change so much of it. Like there's so much stuff that we just didn't get taught in school that like I get into the real world, I'm like, shit, like I don't know any of this stuff.
Nothing.
It's really interesting you say that because we've had a couple of discussions now where we talk about, understanding business, property, taxes, finances, scheduling, where you put your time, like high and low vibrations, everything. But it is so true. And you think about, the lineage of where the world started. You've got the Rothschilds, you've got all these banking families and huge overseers who started the schooling system, and it's never changed. And you think, well, what are you learning? And I'd love to go and when I have kids one day to homeschool 100%. Because I honestly think that what I could teach as a homeschooling parent would be so much more valuable. And all the families that I work with now, like on one-on-one individual sessions and mentoring programs and through Wolfpack Hoops that I'm doing, the biggest thing that I see with successful families is that the father or the mother or the carer are teaching them very early about how to strategize a business mind. How do we lay out a pathway to understand business, understand time management, understand communication skills? Is that something that you had to learn yourself or did you have a mentor? Because for me, I didn't have anyone really. My parents didn't really know. So you're like, oh, he's got 12 properties. You're like, how do you have 12 properties? Yeah, they're like $1 million a piece. How do you make $12 million a year? How do you make that? Yeah. And they're like, no, I make $175,000 a year. And I'm like, if that's the math, I'm like, how many years do you have to? I was like, how old are you? And he's like 40. And I'm like, 40 by 175. I was like, that's still not $12 million. I was like, how do you afford 12 houses? And once they started to break it down, I was like, far out, I'm so far behind. And I felt so stupid for 4 or 5 years until I was like, okay, I need to learn. So who was it for you? When did it start? And how does that snowball start to create a bigger snowball?
Yeah, so for me, I've been very fortunate that my dad's an entrepreneur, and I remember when I was going into like university, I went in and I was studying sports journalism, and he's like you're not gonna end up doing that. I'm like, no, like I want to do it, like I think, and he's like, you're just not. You're gonna figure it out like me, and you're gonna be like, I don't know when you're gonna figure it out, but you're gonna figure it out that you don't want to work like as an employee ever. It's not what you want to do. And there are some people out there that want to be an employee and like that security. That was never going to be me. I was always, wanted to forge my own path. So for me, my old man was fantastic at kind of being a role model for me. And I finished my degree and while I was doing my degree, I was working as a PT, and I realized like being a PT, I enjoyed that a lot more than actually doing the sports journalism stuff. So ended up obviously doing the Prime Train stuff and doing the social media stuff as well. But I think that having that role model, having that mentor is so important in your life, whether it's like a family friend, it might be an uncle or an auntie, whatever it might be. I think it's really, really important to have that successful person that you see that they're succeeding. It might be money, it might be family, like take little parts from everyone's life that you can and try and, I guess, succeed yourself.
Is there 3 people that you would like to continue to learn off at this point in your life? Like, are there 2 or 3 people you identify and say, that's the person?
I think I got this question asked the other day, like 3 people you'd love to go to dinner with.
Yeah.
And I think I would love to go to, I've recently loved this guy. I think he's got a lot of trauma, but like I love his mindset. David Goggins. I love him. I just love him. I think he's got a lot of trauma.
He's a monster.
He's a monster. I think I don't know if he's happy, but I love his mindset of if you're not succeeding or you're not happy, like go and sort it out. Like stop blaming other people for where you are, kind of thing. Like I love that mindset. So I take that part from him. I would always love my dad to be there because he's a great role model for me. So no matter what, we'll always have something good to talk about.
What's your dad's name?
Michael.
Shout out, Michael.
Yeah. Shout out to the goat. And yeah.
Do people call him Mikey?
Mikey? Nah, everyone calls him Baulchy. So everyone.
Baulchy.
Yeah.
Baulchy.
So I couldn't be I was Baulchy Junior growing up, and then maybe like an Andrew Huberman or something, someone that's like really analytical. Like I love how he works. So something like that. What about you? What about both of you? 3 people for dinner.
Oh, you go first.
I would honestly really love to have someone like Russell Crowe there.
Yeah.
Because
I was going to say like Cristiano Ronaldo, like LeBron. That was awesome.
So I'd love to have an Aussie who would just drink heaps of piss and just no, but
love it.
So there's a really cool personal story about Russell Crowe that I can't really talk about too much, but someone in my family's got a relationship with their family in a working aspect and a personal aspect. And the coolness that he exuberates, the down to earth, the true Aussie, like the banter, just such an Aussie lad. So I'd love to have someone like him or Hugh Jackman just go in and just have a case of VP and be like, come on boys, we're going to have a few beers at dinner. Like, let's go. And you just talk absolute nonsense, but there'd be so much wisdom that gets shared because you think about what he's done. He's owned sporting franchises. He's been one of the most prolific and inspirational actors of a generation. He's played multitude of different people. So he'd be one.
And he's produced some like really amazing movies.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So I'd have Russell. I think I'd love to have MJ or Kobe. One of the 2. If I could bring back Kobe. Now that Kobe's passed, you can't have Kobe.
I don't think that works.
You just caught on to what
No,
he
but
said.
you could. Isn't it like they don't have to be alive? Do they? Or is that the rule?
I don't know. Well, if you want to have dinner with them, probably.
So MJ, it's enough Kobe jokes.
Okay.
Jesus.
It's MJ.
So we're going to bring MJ. I think the fact that Kobe's passed is so devastating for athletes around the world and for the rest of humanity. He was just such an incredible example of what it takes to be such a amazing husband, a professional, and to dedicate your entire life to being the greatest in every single field of your life. I think he's done an amazing job. I'd love to have, honestly, like another Aussie, but Jim Owen.
Wow, that is the rarest.
Jim Owen. I think Jim Owen. Jim Owen or Carl Barron. I just love him.
Carl Barron.
If
he would be
Carl
funny
was there,
as.
It would be good to have a comedian there just to lift the mood.
Just, the roughness of Russell, the professionalism of Kobe.
Oh, here we go. Rounding it out.
Oh, look, a chicken. You just die. You'd be done.
And a case of VP in the middle. Here you go, Kobe. Drink up, buddy.
What does VB stand for? Just let him go.
Just let him go. Yeah. You'll figure it out.
Mitchell.
Oh, gosh. Beck, who you got?
Who you got, Beck?
Elon Musk, because I think
love it.
weirdo.
How would you go intellectually? You and Elon sitting
I
at
would
the
be
table?
like, let me write notes and like refer back to Google later. But I feel like he could also help me with like what to invest in, what like that sort of stuff. And I just think he's so different.
Say
and
Tesla.
I love listening to people.
Would you invest in like SpaceX or Tesla? Because he owns those companies and he has a huge amount of money in them and he owns a large profit share of them. So do you think maybe that'd be something you could probably invest in?
No,
Well, what
but
did you say?
I just think he would be so interesting. And who knows, maybe he'll help me get some money somehow. And then David Attenborough, because I just want to hear him speak to me because like his voice is amazing.
Are you having a lay down dinner?
Picnic, yes. And then
hospital.
what else? Oh, it has to be Beyonce or Rihanna because they're like my favorite artists. And they'd be sick. And then I wish there was another one for an athlete, but I've already chosen 3, so that's the end.
Who would be honourable mention if David Attenborough couldn't get out of bed?
We are killing
David Attenborough with a laid out. Can't come in.
These guys.
David Attenborough will be watching.
Roll
I'm
it.
sure it will be.
We got to tag Dave.
Maybe Alison Felix. I love track and field, and she was a USA sprinter who had won like 200s, 400s, and she has the most beautiful soul. I feel like she'd be really interesting to talk to.
That's a great honourable mention.
Yeah, thanks. Screw you back.
Yeah, honourable mention for me has to be like a Cristiano Ronaldo or like a LeBron, something like that would be. I'd love to have a pro athlete. Ronaldo is, love him.
And he has a lot of, have you watched on Netflix, I think it's called Captain's Game?
No, but it's gone on my list.
Yeah.
I don't really watch much TV shows, but I want to watch it.
That is interesting. So pretty much quick in a nutshell, it's the captains of the World Cup for
right.
soccer.
Yep.
I call it football, but you lot probably soccer.
Nah.
Anyways.
Hey, don't pigeonhole me. Hold on a second.
Anyways, and then it goes through their experiences in that World Cup. And he would be very interesting. Even what's just happened to him at Man U is, I think that's a lot of thing about going back to social media, what people perceive you as, what the media put out. And that's probably not actually what's really happening or who you are as a person, but yet you get all this judgment for no reason.
100%. It'd be the most, especially at that level of it, like you're literally number one most talked about athlete in the entire world. You'd already be stressed enough. You couldn't even go out in public, like ever, anywhere you go in the world. Like what a shit life. I don't know. It'd be stressful.
You think about the times where you're most recognized. And I know we've spoken about like you go out and people are pulling at you. Hey, get a photo, like Prime, just a quick one, mate. And you like, I always make sure
it's 500 quick ones.
Let me just put your drink down first, mate. You know, you're just trying to set a good example. And when I was younger, I was just like, nah, no way. Like 4 cans of,
cans.
Yeah. And then you get older and you're like, I look like a dickhead. And now you're becoming more professional. You're becoming more recognized. You've got a brand, you've got merch, you've got clients, you've got a following of people. You've got Daily Run Club, you've got, podcasts and people you associate with who you have such a healthy existence now. You have such a high vibration of energy every day. You're trying to find ways to center yourself and align with what, makes you feel happy and good. And
what you say on social media as well, you portray this image on social media. You're like, oh, if I have a beer, am I stopping that? Like, am I allowed to have a beer? Am I allowed to have fun? Like I went to Beyond the Valley for 4 days, which is fun as festival. But like, also I'm like, should I even be here? Like this is like, pretty full on. So you got the ski mask on the whole time just to make sure no one sees you. But like, you're like,
if you with the mask on, you can't tell it's you.
No, it's a full on mask.
Probably could have worn balaclava and covered the mullet. Who's that guy? Looks like Prime. That can't be him. He's got a ski mask on.
But yeah, like that's going to imagine being Ronaldo or something like. just be ridiculous. But yeah, I'm grateful that I'm not at that level sometimes.
It's like when you see Coachella or something like that and you see one of the artists in the crowd and they're posting about, hey, I'm in the mosh pit or whatever else, and people are losing their mind. I remember seeing videos of Shaquille O'Neal and he's at festivals just doing this, going crazy, and everyone's like dwarves next to him and he's this huge monster just headbanging to Skrillex. You're like, there's no
he played
way.
at that festival because he's a DJ as well. DJ Shaq he's someone I'd like to have at the dinner. Mate, he's a pisser. I love that man. He's hilarious. And just like, he's just so large. Like, I don't know if I could explain that any other way. He's just so
He's so tall.
Dude. But then he's like, not even tall. He's like, just large.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
He was fitter than I thought though, because when he was here like 2 or 3 years ago, you know, for his little moment down under, and I was like, you look actually quite slim.
You definitely know about his time here, don't you, Beck?
I do.
Beck was harassed. Well, not harassed. He was
What happened?
delightfully talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might have mentioned my name on stage.
Fill me in.
Future wife, Beck Cole, on stage.
He fell in love.
Doesn't he already have a missus or not? No, they're divorced.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know him personally.
But
we did have Morgan
everyone
Mitchell
was
and
just-
she's a personal friend. So we might have to invite Morgan to dinner.
True.
Yes.
So if the three of us go and we bring 3 people, we could bring Morgan who brings Shaq
Yeah.
and then we
Ones.
bring someone else.
Yeah.
True. Plus
Yeah.
ones.
But
Love this
please
for us.
continue.
Plus ones.
Please continue about the Shaq story because I enjoyed this. And
Yeah.
maybe not a lot of people
No.
that weren't there didn't realise.
Oh,
I wasn't
true.
there, but I had a
Okay.
lot of people recall this event to me and I was like, gee, that must have been a little bit awkward.
Okay, this is my like one and only time of a run-in with a A-list celebrity. So it was for the Australian Basketball Players Association like awards night, and it was raining, but of course like I'm still look 10 out of 10. So I was wearing this like dress, and of course my midriff was out because that's me, and then it had like, you know, thigh high split, and you know, I was like feeling myself, umbrella. The black van comes and it's like Shaq and all his security, and like the security was like telling everyone, oh, like you need to walk through so Shaq can come out, and then he was like, halt, and I was like it's fucking raining and I'm in this dress. Like, let me just walk. I'm not going to harass him. Anyway, and then Shaq walks out and then he's like you can come. And he was so lovely. He like chatted to me. We just spoke for a little bit, whatever. Anyway, it was honestly maybe a 2-minute interaction of just like, and I was like, yeah, you're fucking cool. Like, you're our vibe. I would bring you to dinner. Anyways, and then it was the awards night and he was up on stage and he mentioned my name about 5 times, and obviously no one, I had not told anyone that I had met Shaq before, and so everyone was like
for 2 minutes and he fell in love with you that quick.
well, I don't think he fell in love with me, but anyway, he called me his future wife and everyone was just like and I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
That is a crazy story.
Shaq daddy.
That is a crazy story.
Jeez.
2-minute interaction. You have that effect on people.
I'm just glad he remembered my name. That says a lot about someone.
It says a shitload.
It's the power of walking into a room and being recognised when that you're not there to be recognised. Like when you're in your position now, like you're a CEO, you're an influencer. I hate to say it, but we are.
Content creator. I think that's what we say.
Yeah,
Baulch,
it's the
influencer,
same.
whatever.
TikTok.
You have influence. TikTok. But you have an influence over people and their moods, their daily, like, oh, I've got to check in, you know, Prime had reminded me. When you have that kind of effect, you need to be able to walk into a room without having all of that and still have that kind of effect on the room. Is that something you feel like you kind of grew into naturally, or did you work on it when you said, I'm going to start doing this because I know through my dad, through my mentors, that I have to find a way to be engaging?
No, I think that I've fortunately or unfortunately always been pretty charismatic, I think is a good word to use, but I've always been like pretty out there with things I've done. I think that something that you have to really hone in on as a content creator, influencer, whatever, is you just can't care what people think. Like that's the number one thing, right? Like, and I've never cared. Like I've to an extent. Like I obviously care if people like me or not to an extent, but like if you don't know me, I don't know you. Like I really don't care if you don't like me because like I've never had a chance to meet you. Like I'll always make my assumptions on people after I've met them. If someone says, oh, I don't like that person, I will never just instantly not like them. Like I want to actually meet them first, talk to them and figure out for myself if I like that person. So I think that that's an issue with a lot of people. They see someone on social media, they're like, I don't like the look of that guy. It's like, you got to remember that a lot of people are playing a character on social media.
Facts.
So you have to be very, very careful with like, oh, I don't like him. He's got a mullet, or like, he looks like a show off. It's like, yeah, but you've never actually talked to me. So how the hell would you actually know what I've come from, who I am, or what I've gone through?
And you must like it a bit because you keep coming back into my page and complaining about me a little bit, right?
Exactly right. And man, I have a bit of fun with it, to be honest. Like all the hate comments, especially early, it was very, pretty strong. And it's just like, I don't know, it adds to the algorithm at the end of the day. Yeah. If you're commenting hate, it's like, more comments, bro. It's good. Sweet. Just putting it on the For You page.
Engagement's great right now. Great. New sponsor? Yeah, I have 28,000 people sending me, I hope you get kicked.
I've had some of the worst messages that it's just like I don't know. I always think in my head, it's like, you have so much more bad things going on in your life. If that's like the hate that you're protruding through a screen towards me, it's like, you really need to go home and figure out your issues before coming to me, like telling me what I need to do with my life.
And I guess, do you have your like close circle? I don't know, maybe at the start when, everyone knowing who you are, that was a big deal and something different. Were you like, okay, no, I might get these comments, and then I go back to my close circle, the people who I actually care about what they think of me, and be like, no, I'm okay. Like, that is a reflection of you. I'm okay. I'm a good person.
Yeah, I think that my family's always been number one for me. Like I love my family so much, and they've always been like number one in my corner, and they've instilled a lot of confidence in me growing up to do what I do. Like, I wouldn't be able to do what I do unless my family had instilled confidence in me since I was 2 years old. So shout out to them for that. Shout out to Mikey. And shout out to the crew. But I think that having a really good group of friends is really important. And also having friends that do the same thing as you, like having friends that also post on social media and that go through the same ups and downs that you go through. It's a really weird game, because it's like, it's just kind of the same as it's the same as anything. Like, your views might be really, really low one week, and like you're kind of down in the dumps. Like, I've been working really, really hard. Like, I should be getting the results, but I'm not getting the views. I'm not getting the likes. And then like one day you might have a terrible video you put no work into and it gets 2 million views. You're like, how the hell did that happen? It's kind of just like, you just got to keep working and chipping away. And over a long period of time, like, everything does start to come out on top.
And I'm now interested just hearing about you, like, hey, I put in so many hours this week. What does a day in the life look like you for, a content creator? Because say like Mitch and I, we just go train all the time. He might go coach. We might have an appearance. You might also do your own like content stuff, but that's so different to what you do. So what does that look like?
For me at the moment, I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. I've got a very strict like morning regime that I like to stick to. Wake up 5 a.m., boxing at 6 a.m. And then usually sit at a cafe, do some work, do some calls until like 9:30. Then I go to Pilates girly at the moment, which I'm absolutely loving. It's so good. It's like me and my mate, and there's like 20 girls in the class. It's elite.
And it's harder than what you think it is.
It's so hard. Pilates is like the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I really enjoy it.
Are you at the front of the class or the back of the class?
Absolutely. Straight set up at the front. I get there 15 minutes early to set up at the front.
Don't lie, you're at the back of the class.
I'm not at the back of the class. I want to be close to the mirror.
I can't see what's going on right now.
I want to be close to the mirror. No, it's actually so difficult. And then after that, we'll kind of go for some meetings and probably start to film some content in the afternoon. I like to bank my content though. If I can do 2 or 3 big content days, either edit it myself or give it to an editor to do. A lot of things I've started to outsource now. I used to do it all myself, and now I've got 10 or 12 people on the team that are helping out with email marketing, helping out with designs of the apparel, helping out with the subs, and doing everything for me, which gives me more time to kind of do the things I want to do, meet with people, continue to grow the brand. So that's a big focus for me pretty much going into 2024.
And congrats, because that's awesome, because like you started, like you said, doing it all yourself, and that I can
it's
imagine
the hardest thing to give things away as well, because it's like, I want things done to this standard, and then like people don't do it to that standard. It's like, you have to really train them up, and that takes a lot of time, energy out of you. So, but then once you've got a really good team, and I'm really happy with my team at the moment, then, things just start to grow. And it's pretty like, there's not too much work that goes into kind of like doing online programs and stuff. Like, you can really start to build that up and not have too many expenses if you do it right.
I think the biggest takeaway for people that listen to this is that the small little incremental days stack up eventually. And you may not realize, if you start doing 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups a day and 100 squats and just did 100, after a week, you're like, oh, well, I've done nearly 1,000 of all and I don't look any different.
I look no different.
And they look at themselves every day in the mirror and they go, see, it doesn't work, and they stop. But then the same can be said for someone that does it for 2 months or for 3 months or for 6 months or for 12 months. And they're like, well, it's not working, so I'm just going to give up. Sometimes it's not always about what you're doing. It's about, the effort, the intensity, should I have a rest in between? You have to start to strategize the process. And by the sounds of it, you've got you've worked your niche and say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be great at this. And I've got to work towards this. Then you go, well, it's not really working. And then, as you said, you don't really put in the effort on one of them and it goes viral and you're like, well, okay, maybe the way I'm looking at it isn't 100% on par because everything changes. The algorithms change. The interest in the world's changed. There's the ice bucket challenge, and then you've got, we're doing TikTok dances. And I don't see you being a big TikTok dancer.
No, I'm not much of a dancer, unfortunately. I've never actually really tried, to be honest, but it's not really for me. I think that,
Can you try and say how many views you get?
Nope. No, not for me. You're so right. It's just like the little things. I think that too much of the time as human beings, we compare ourselves to like yesterday or last week. It's like, that's too much of a small sample size. Like go back a year, compare yourself to a year ago, 2 years ago. Like how far have you come since then? Like that's where you should be comparing yourself to. I think that one of my favorite quotes is like, the scariest thing is to be in the same spot as where you are a year ago. Like that's the worst place you could ever be because it means you're just not progressing.
For me, it's the biggest thing as well. I don't want to be the same person 3 months ago. And I try and shorten it a little bit to say, okay, in the last 3 months, have I progressed mentally, physically, and or in my life? And if the answer is no, it's like, okay, I need to really look into it, deep dive and go, all right, I haven't been doing my ice bars every day. I haven't been doing my journaling. I haven't been doing, just the positive affirmations to myself. I haven't been having good conversations or maybe giving a little bit of myself. So it's the consistency of doing the work, but then also saying, well, I'm doing the work, but how can I maybe give a little bit something different and put it in there and try that a little bit? Oh, now I'm getting some results. And if the stagnation sets in too much, you lose interest. And then it's like, well, I suck at that. It's not working. But you're right. It's a year at a time sometimes. And that's a long time. But it's really not.
Yeah.
Last year went friggin' quick.
So quick.
I can't even remember like celebrating New Year's 2023. And then I was like, woo.
I was
shit,
asleep
it's Christmas.
before midnight.
I didn't even buy presents this year. It's New Year's Day and I'm like, well, I'm in Chatty trying to buy Christmas presents because I forgot. Like it went so fast. So the years actually come around really fast, but it's about having the routine. The daily routine helps separate you from who you were a year ago. Is that for you now what you set in stone? It's like, these are my routines, these are my processes. But what are those routines and processes aiming towards? What is it for you that you want to achieve in this world before you cark it? What is it that you want to achieve and the message you want to leave for people? Because that's a powerful thing we have to put into the world.
Yeah, I think that for me, it's simple. I just want to help as many people as I possibly can. And like that comes from like a lot of the stuff that I do is focused around, body transformations. And a lot of people see these crazy transformations that I've been doing, with people that are my clients. Like, wow, how crazy are those, physical transformations? There's like the physical transformations you can sell, but like it's really hard to sell kind of like a mental transformation. But the physical transformations they always come back to me and they always say, I'm so much happier. Like, and that just, when I get those messages or when I get those people like saying that, it's just like, it warms my heart, makes me so happy. The first person that I ever did it with was my sister. She was like my first client, I guess, when I was like 17 and I was like reasonably fit and she was 15. She was like, I want to get fit. And within, 6 months, I kind of gave her like just a crappy training program. And then I got to see her transition from like being this schoolgirl who was, kind of unfit, kind of unhappy, and then just completely changed her mindset. And now she's off in New York, rowing scholarship, like her life's sick, like so happy for her. And that was like the first thing for me that I was like, I can really change people's lives if I put like a little bit of effort in and give them a little bit of just guidance. And that just made me so happy. So the more people that I can make happy, the happier I am.
And do you think maybe for people out there, new year, new intentions, maybe they're trying to start their own business, whether it be social media, whatever it is, Do you have maybe like 2 or 3 tips you could give listeners?
Love it.
What's your advice?
2 or 3 tips. Like the number one tip that I always give people is and you guys would know it better than anyone. It's just hard work. Like you're never, ever, ever going to achieve anything if you don't have goals and if you're not willing to work hard. So, I've seen the difference in my own business from when I'm kind of just like going through the motions compared to when I'm really working hard and really focused. That's a massive thing. And then I think that getting your own life in order is the only way that you can actually start to outsource and sort out the other things in your life. So for me, it's like make my bed every morning. Like I've got my room in order. Every time I wake up, my room's completely clean. The house is clean. Like then I know that my life's in order and I can go on with my day and I don't have any other stresses and I can focus on the rest of the things that are going on in the day. So they're probably 2 big tips that I really like in my life that help me get to where I am.
I love it. I think for both of us, we identify what we have to do every day. We know what makes us great already. Like I know what makes me great. Beck knows what makes her great. You know what makes you great. It's now about trying to use that to empower other people to realize what it is they have.
So true.
And it's not about just having an amazing business and making heaps of money. Sometimes it's about waking up and feeling good and getting through the day and not feeling like a piece of shit. And then not going into training and being like, I feel like a potato. Sometimes you might look different to how you feel and sometimes you might feel different to how you look. And that is probably the most powerful thing we try and tell people, especially that listen, is sometimes your life might look incredible on social media.
Right.
And you'll have this. You're tan, you got a mullet, you're doing Pilates in front of 20 birds with your mates, life's sick.
What a lifestyle.
You're selling shit like I'm traveling. And then you actually might not be really, truly happy and fulfilled.
I've been there. Yeah, 100%. I've been there. Like I was overseas last year and I looked great. I was in Ibiza having the best time of my life. Like I was in Europe just enjoying myself. And it was really funny because that was like when I was probably at my lowest and it was like I was not where I wanted to be. And it was really funny because like when I got back, I was like really honest with people online. And I think that's if it's going to be online or if it's going to be your friends, it's going to be your family, like just be honest with people and say, you know what, like I'm not where I want to be. Like this is what I'm going to do. I want you to hold me accountable. For me, I like posting it on social media because it means that held me accountable because I've told a lot of people what I'm going to do. Find things that are going to make you accountable, write on your wall, write on your mirror, whatever it might be, and figure out the things that you need to do to change yourself. I think that a really important thing to do is just like write down 5 things that you know that you're doing when you're absolutely happiest. And then just do those things every day. Like tick them off, just simple. Like 5 things, figure out what they are. You can't fail if you do that.
And you're busy, go. You're online a lot. What's your way to switch off and potentially, I guess, like reset your mind for your intentions the next day?
It's hard because I find that there is a lot of imbalance with that in my life, and I enjoy that at times because I sometimes enjoy working till 9 p.m. every night, and that is a good way for me to get things done. But I think that it is really important to find something that's sustainable for you. So probably doing that 2 or 3 times a week is okay for me. And then if I want to switch off, it's just being around my friends or my family and just getting that time to chill out, go and have a dinner. Like we went and had a steak dinner the other night, which was fantastic, just with the boys, just chilled out and like be around people where you can be yourself with. I think that's really important. And yeah, that allows me to switch off. It's really hard to switch off when you're on social media because I'm still thinking, I'm like, this is a good reel, this is a good TikTok. Like I could use this, but I think that it is really important to find something that's sustainable for you. And if I'm honest, I probably haven't found that 100% yet. And it's something that I am looking to find. So that's definitely something that I'm trying to work on. I just love working.
And would that be hard as well when you get on a roll or you're like, I've got momentum here? Are you just like, I just want to get shit done, like from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep? Is that the way it works as well? Yeah,
I'm pretty high octane. Like I'm almost ADHD with it. I'm like, let's do this. Like, let's get it all done.
Everyone here is undiagnosed ADHD.
Yeah,
so
I love it. I love it. I'm just like, let's go. Let's do this, do that. And it's like, there's not enough hours in the day a lot of the time. So like doing stuff like this is great. Like being able to kind of come on a podcast and just chill and chat. Like I really enjoy this because it gives me a chance to to kind of switch off and just have a laugh. Because otherwise I'll be at home on my laptop just like tapping away emails and stuff. It's never ending, but I do really like it like that. And I find I can get a little bit of time off on the weekends or playing footy or doing something like that. Like that's a good release for me.
Getting punched in the face is always a good release.
Face,
yeah,
it's good. Go for it.
Left, right, good night. Beck's pretty dangerous. Look at her.
Yeah, I'll be...
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, lethal. All right, we've got a champion look after us. They're absolute legends. They have given you some really cool gear. You can chuck it on later. Don't take your shirt off.
Do you want me to take it off now?
Look, we might get a few
we might.
Beck,
wow,
would you like me to put the clothes on right now?
This is beautiful.
So I know it's summer and it's 84 degrees outside, but
I love white.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get it dirty for sure.
So Champion have given us 2 quotes to choose from. Okay, you're going to find the one that best aligns with yourself and give us a little bit of why. So the first one is, I'm a great believer in luck, and the harder I work, the more of it I have. That's from Thomas Jefferson. The other one,
shout out Tommy.
Shout out Tomo. If you believe you can or can't, you're probably right. That one's by Henry.
Henry who?
Henry Ford. But you were just going to say, thanks, Henry.
Ennis.
Cheers, Ennis.
So which one do you think best suits yourself?
Can you read that first one more time, please?
I'm a great believer in luck, and the harder I work, the more of it I have.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's the one. That's
the one you're going to get tattooed on your chest?
That's the one. I don't think... You don't put bumper stickers on a Ferrari, unfortunately.
What the fuck are you trying to say here? This is wild. Beck,
I really enjoyed that. I've never heard that before. I'm taking that. No.
Oh my God.
No.
You've lived under a rock, haven't you?
Yes.
New quote. Write it down.
Yeah.
From Prime Train. Shout out Primey.
Actually, look, there's a third quote here. You don't put bumper stickers on a Ferrari by Tom.
Tom who?
Who's Tom?
Apologies for that, Creaky. I didn't mean that.
Get fucked, Tom. You can't see the other side of this, but go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's so rude. That first quote, that's an elite quote. It's so true though. The harder you work, the luckier you get, I think. So, yep, that's the one.
Mate, it's been amazing having you in today. I think what you've set as a model of how you want to have your life. You know, you've laid it out in front of you and said, this is what I want to be. This is the direction I'm going to go in. You've started to branch out, and now you have a bunch of different things. And I'm sure for a lot of people, they are going to take so much from your daily routines, your daily habits, your mindset, your accountability, your honesty as well. Because so many times in our lives, being professional athletes, it's all a bit of a facade. You have media afterwards and you say, yeah, it was good. We played great basketball as a team. How good is this? The end. Thanks. Piss off. But really, now I've just been honest in interviews and just said, like, you know what? I've actually been feeling like shit. So as much as you all want to pump me up, like, stuff you. Like, I've actually been in a really bad place. I've really been struggling. This has been amazing. This hasn't been amazing. Whatever it is, we're just giving honesty. And I think you're delivering that message to so many people. As you said, there's not just the 300,000-400,000 people that follow you directly. It's the people who don't follow you, who have your notification posts on, that help your engagement, that help the algorithm. So I think just as a one final thing from me is, where can they find you on social media, on your TikToker?
TikTok.
You can find me at Prime Train on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So wherever you want, you'll find me there, or at Tom Baulch for my personal one.
Who?
Tom Baulch.
Oh,
So sorry. Prime Train.
No one knows me by Tom Baulch.
Mikey.
Mikey, shout out Mikey.
Yeah, but Prime Train, thanks so much for being on the podcast. And listeners, if you've enjoyed this, subscribe, like, share, comment, whatever you want to do. And we'll see you guys same time next week. This is the Performance Circus with Mitch Creek and Beck Cole.
You. Nice work.